Howdy, howdy. Happy Wednesday, hump day. Whatever. I'm tired. I'm super tired. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Evan. Ochi, Mango. This is also how I practice for fighting games. Yeah. Hey, Shiro. How's it going? Hi, hi. All right. So we are in episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Beatrice just tempted Shamon with the ability to live the life that she wants to live. If the prologue of episode 2 is to be believed, it looks like she went and did what Beatrice requested. Beatrice wanted her to shatter a mirror in a shrine, which was presumably preventing her from manifesting or preventing her from physically appearing or using her powers or something. There was something that shrine and that mirror were preventing her, the witch, from doing. And as such, Shamon said, maybe I'll go do it. My headphones are super tangled. Let me just let those dangle for a second. In the meantime, I hope everyone's doing well. I am absolutely battered by work this week, but nothing new there. A good stress, like I'm being pretty productive, but it's also one of those things where like I do not know how I will feasibly do everything that I'm supposed to do in the next like 2 months. But it's okay. We'll get through it. We'll speed run. We'll see what happens first. If I finish Umineko or if I lose my job. Yeah. No big deal there. Hold on. I'm actually going to unplug my headphones and really let them dangle. So I'm gonna BRB 1 second. Check. Dead is gamer time. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened when we last left off. Next, we'll see what happens. I got some feedback on my tier list. Shaylee was not too happy at me putting Goda in trash tier. So I tried to look at an episode 1 synopsis and see if I missed anything, and I was like, don't think so. And so then I said, oh yeah, I didn't mention it, but this list only has to do with episode 1. And he's like, that is irrelevant. That's even more concerning because he was the best in episode 1. I don't know, maybe just because he chefed up that food so well. But I feel like he did like nothing in most of episode 1. What do you mean separate rooms? So wait, you and George stayed in different rooms on purpose? Yeah. Is that really strange? Shaylee be trippin'? Maybe. Too much of that Kuon juice. I don't know what he meant by that. I don't know, he had a sick meme to go with it though. So like, I mean, it's kind of hard to contest that. Jessica's cheeks had been stuffed with a chocolate-coated Chinsukuo biscuit that Shamon had bought as a present from Okinawa. And it all came flying out at Shamon when Jessica cried out. Hell yeah, I love food particles flying all over my face. That meme was sick, yeah. Oh, Shamon, why did you even go on a trip to Okinawa? You were even alone with George? Well, he said there was a huge aquarium in Okinawa and invited me to go. Oh, okay, so hold on now. That means they did go on this date. Did this stuff happen in chronological order? Because they definitely showed someone going and breaking that mirror. It sounded like it was Shannon. And I like fish and stuff. I love fish and stuff. Fish and stuff is like... That's like that English food, right? Fish and stuff? No, that's not the point. We're talking about a healthy guy and girl going on an overnight trip, right? And you're saying there weren't even any hugs and kisses? Aw, she's trying to write her fan fiction. That was great. Seriously, what's up with the guy and the girl staying in different rooms? As for kisses, no comment. Oh? But we did hug. George's chest was warm. Man, that's not the point, Shannon. Why do couples like this exist? Jeez. I can't take it anymore. From Shannon's point of view, it was an incredibly happy trip for various reasons. But it looked like Jessica found the trip to be pretty something. I'll read that in a second. I'm just seeing if there is anything else. Nope. But Jessica found it to be pretty irritating. I can't write fan fiction to this. For a while, Jessica chewed her present, complaining about romance and pretending to faint in agony on her bed. Shannon and George had chosen to go to Okinawa because there was a huge aquarium there. They did this because an aquarium had given them the opportunity to start going out. Since their relationship had started at an aquarium, having their first overnight trip also be in an aquarium must also have had some commemorative value. So this is a different trip than the one in the prologue. That's like a huge commemorative turning point. And your first overnight trip. How could you not make all kinds of progress there? So they're like officially dating now. But instead, you both got separate rooms? A couple taking 2 single rooms? Not even economically sound. Seriously, what's wrong with you? We are both unmarried. George says showing restraint is good manners for a couple. Nerd. Like I said, the whole point of an overnight trip was so that you could overcome that stage, right? Yeah, think of the finances. You should be way beyond just kissing and hugging by now. Yeah, you should be, like, boinking. Milady, I don't know what you mean by that. But George was a real gentleman with me until the end. That is, I mean, I also wondered if those things would happen, you know? But even though we're going out, I mean, it's not like we're married or anything. These things you seem to be expecting, should only be done after making a vow before God. Yeah, seriously, she's like shouting at them. And, Shannon's face got bright red. She made a circle with both hands, restlessly intertwining, separating, and making heart marks with them. Apparently, the dramatic progress Jessica had looked forward to had not happened. But it seemed to have been a very important experience for Shannon, in her own way. In the end, whether Jessica was jealous of Shannon or made fun of her, it didn't change the fact that Shannon had a huge lead on her. Ah, I want a boyfriend too. I can't believe you got ahead of me. It's a competition. Everything is a competition. Grind said Jessica. Everything is a competition. Even though we promised that we'd find boyfriends at the same time, you beat me. Oh. You're a wonderful person, milady, so I'm sure you'll find someone wonderful much quicker than me. Don't try to console me. Shannon, you traitor. Get out and shut up. Everyone in this game is so Sigma? That must be why it's peak? Perhaps. Everyone in this game is quite the YouTube short personality. Jessica threw several cushions at her, but midway she had an asthma attack and started to choke pretty badly. Shannon let her roll around on the ground for a while as punishment for scolding her. Shannon hurriedly over to a nearby side table and started searching around on top of it. A cute basket was placed there, and inside of it was Jessica's bronchodilator. Shannon picked it up and handed it over to Jessica. Jessica's asthma attacks always came suddenly. Because of that, she always needed to carry this medicine around. She breathed in the medicine and after a while managed to overcome her choking as her asthma finally settled down. Shannon thought this a good chance to leave and tried to exit the room after bowing courteously. You know what I haven't been paying attention to since episode 1? What substances characters inhale or ingest. Classic murder mystery trope, which I know they talked about in the tea party, but classic murder mystery trope is stuff gets into your body through food, wine, cigarettes, etc. And so, like, I just thought of it now because I'm like, well, what if something in Jessica's inhaler is why she's able to, like, see Beatrice, and everybody's got some, like, hallucinogenics going into them. Insert Pepe meme where he gets tripped while holding food. Me, when my opponent's board, become 9/9s. She noticed that Jessica was on the verge of crying, half of her face buried in her last and favorite cushion. That face was red and meek. Open up your bronchioles enough, you can see which is an awesome theory. Yeah, right? Like, you puff that inhaler so hard, your eyes pop and get all bloodshot. And then you see Beatrice. That face was red and meek. Milady? Shannon, be honest with me. Is my hairdo and stuff weird? Aw. What are you saying? I think your hair is beautiful. Then, are my eyes strange, or maybe my nose? Or is it the way I talk? Is that why I can't get a boyfriend? Me as fuck. Yeah, it's the demonic absinthe is just, what's it called? Ephedrine. Of course not. Milady, you are wonderful enough as you are. And I think your charm will keep on increasing more and more from now on. But I'm the only one who can't find a boyfriend. Saku and Hina managed to get them, but only I can't. Is it because I don't have any charm at all? You know, everyone says they'll bring their boyfriends to a cultural festival. And I was so sure I'd have a boyfriend before then, so I started bragging. There's no way I'll get a boyfriend. I'm the only one. Before she realized it, Jessica was shedding huge tears. Jessica didn't really feel like crying, and of course, she felt like supporting Shannon's progress in love as a friend. However, as she had cheered Shannon on, her true feelings had suddenly gotten mixed in, and she couldn't help but shed tears. Poor Jessica. Shannon understood Jessica's innocent and easily injured heart. The rough style of speech Jessica usually used was all just an attempt to protect that fragile heart. As a daughter and successor to the Yushiromiya family, and as a girl isolated on Rokkenjima, the only person she could expose her true feelings to was Shannon. And Shannon understood that, though she strongly regretted acting smug, even if it was only a little. Sorry. I'm so weird, crying like this. Sorry. You are a wonderful person, milady. There's no way you won't find a wonderful man. Shannon, it's about time, right? If you don't go quickly, Genji and Mom will get mad. I'm just fine, so yeah, hurry up. Sorry for crying like this. I'm such a moron. Jessica faced away, acting as though she didn't really want to trouble Shannon, waving her hand as though chasing Shannon away. Shannon took that as a sign that Jessica didn't want to be bothered anymore, bowed her head, and left the room. When Shannon's footsteps disappeared into the distance, Jessica lay down on her bed, still hugging a cushion. Her expression was still a little meek, with tears in her eyes. But for the first time in a long time, she had a very, very quiet and honest conversation with her heart. I also want to fall in love. So we get to see a lot of what happened. I'm guessing this all happened before the family conference that year. And so we're getting an insight into what happened before the family conference, because I don't know where this is going. As Shannon happily watered the flower beds in the garden, she sensed someone's presence. She turned around, thinking that if one of the family had come to visit, she must greet them. But what she saw was that witch. Beatrice! Ah, it's been quite some time. How are you? Has your relationship with the one you love progressed since last we met? As Beatrice sat on the rose arch, she happily blew her pipe. Sitting in a place like that would crush the roses. And it might have been dangerous if the arch fell over, but this was a witch after all. Showing concern for her safety was probably a waste of time. Yeah, thanks to you, it's going smoothly. Naturally. The effects of my magic are immediate. So I guess she doesn't follow the rules where she can like not affect love. Perhaps you feel your meeting was a predetermined fate. However, that is a mistake. Don't even think fate has anything to do with it. I understand that. The witch was calling attention to something. Two things, actually. Firstly, that Shannon's relationship with George was a fate that would be absolutely impossible under normal circumstances. And secondly, the power of the witch was great enough to overturn that fact. Shannon had just gotten wrapped up in those sweet days, and had started believing the illusion that all fate revolved around her. But then she remembered the witch's words. Originally, her relationship with George had been impossible. No, it might be impossible in the future as well. Sorry, please forgive me. It's just like doctors. You cling to them when you're worried about your health, but after you're healed, you forget to even thank them. I've never been thanked as a witch, so I couldn't help but act a little rudely. Forgive me. The gratitude that I feel has never slipped my mind. It's thanks to your power that I was able to achieve happiness, Beatrice-sama. And without that power, the fate that brought me and George together would never have happened. I've never forgotten that. Sorry. It's not like I came here to bully you. Being rude is just part of my personality. Do forgive me. Oh, she's so quirky. More importantly, I heard you went on a trip alone with him? I imagine it must have been quite fun. Yes, it was very, fun. Shannon's face suddenly lit up. The witch laughed lightly, as though amused by the speed of that transformation. Already, the one you care for is more than the object of one-sided love. You are a pair of lovers now. When two people are filled with love, nothing else is needed to establish a complete world. Perhaps you could call that a wonderful, ideal world. Haha! Even witches would be jealous. Beatrice laughed pleasantly. That smile made her look as though she blessed the lovers' rendezvous from the bottom of her heart, without a trace of malice. After that day, Beatrice had shown herself before Shannon every once in a while. Even now, Shannon thought of her as an unsettling being. However, she was also indebted to this person for the magic that led her to her current relationship with George. So Shannon tried with all her might not to act surprised or scared. That's right. Beatrice, I bought some sweets as a souvenir from our trip. Would you like to try some too? Oh, a souvenir for a witch. It seemed that even a witch who boasted for a living for 1,000 years hadn't imagined that she'd receive a souvenir from a lover's trip. When she saw that surprised expression, Shannon thought of the witch as a friend for the first time. Western cookie made from wheat flour and lard. Delicious! To wrap that in Western chocolate is truly a blending of the Japanese and Western style. The Silk Road of the sweets. Huh? What's so funny? Nothing. My apologies. The witch, who surely held a terrifying power, was chomping down on sweets one after another, making it sound like a squirrel stuffing walnuts into its mouth. That's Beatrice's mouth noises. That's a Steam name. After a while, Shannon couldn't conceal her laughter. A good meal. I should serve you some dolce vita from Nero one of these days. Roses are the symbol of eternal love. I believe a rose dolce would be appropriate for you now. The witch was in a great mood, fully enjoying modern candy. Here, I am truly grateful. I believe you've done more than enough for me already, so I'm returning this. The thing Shannon had softly set on the table was a gold-colored butterfly brooch. Hello, Himbo. Box. Yes. There's no need to return it. If you continue holding that, your relationship should remain firm in perpetuity. Maybe it was the power of magic that brought us together, but I think only the two of us working together can turn it into something that lasts forever. I hope you have been having a wonderful week. I've been having an okay week. Very stressful week that I don't think is gonna let up. But Umineko's getting me through it. Love and roses are the same. Too much fertilizer causes the roots to rot. Some flowers cannot be raised without hard work. In that case, do as you wish. Here's something. Consider the following. With the dang rose from episode 1, why did they even bother tying it up? Was that only a plot device to get Maria outside? I feel like it can't be just that. Well, you have to look forward to the Honkai. Oh, I played a little bit of the Honkai patch today on lunch. I did the first 3 stages of the new Forgotten Hall thing. The 4th stage is like impossible. I did 2 of the new Simulated Universe, which is pretty good. I didn't do any story quests because story quest is boring. You may wear it or keep it in a box. The new Sim U is so fun. I love what they implemented with the new Simulated Universe. It's so much better than before. And you can actually relic farm, like fast with it. And it counts toward the weekly Sim U reset. It's so good. That is my goodwill given to you. Having you return it to me won't please me at all. My apologies. That's not what I... No harm has been done. That brooch is already yours. If you treasure that proof of our friendship, it would indeed bring me some comfort. You may hold on to it and gain its benefits, or you may keep it in a box. If you wish, you may even give it to another who is worrying about love. Okay, I'm gonna go lurk mode, gotta lock in. Good luck, good luck. Or you could simply treasure it. Of course, it would pain my heart if you wasted it. According to Beatrice, she had appeared several times in the past in response to a person's summons. You give them some tool imbued with magical power. However, when most people used that power to resolve their worries, they quickly grew unsettled by it, forgot their former gratitude, and threw away the tools that had been given with disgust. So it is quite rare for me to be thanked for my goodwill. In fact, this might even be the first time. Get it twisted, anything is possible when you lock in. Get it twisted, do not hold on to a cursed tool from a witch. It will definitely curl the monkey's paw. Get it twisted, anything is possible with the power of love. Even if you are employed by your love interest, there is nothing that can stop you from being happy. Get it twisted, you will be fired the next day as soon as his parents find out that you are dating their son. You are easily replaced in this infrastructure of servitude. Get it twisted, there are 100 girls who would take your job in a heartbeat. In fact, this might even be the first time. Haha. The witch laughed heartily, but it looked like a sad laugh in Shannon's eyes. She herself had been like that in the past. No, maybe she was still like this now. Get it twisted, you are nothing but 2 pennies on the Ushiromiya branch family's balance sheet. Whoa. An anonymous gifter is gifting 1 tier 1 sub. Is that actually an anonymous gifter? Thank you, anonymous. Congratulations, Ditsanel. Welcome to the tournament staff, courtesy of an anonymous gifter. I appreciated whoever gifted it. Definitely not necessary. Very, very kind of you. Beatrice was definitely a witch with a strange and terrifying power. Most people probably wouldn't want to stick around her if they could help it. Surely, even those who had relied on that strange power sometimes felt fear rather than gratitude as a result. Get it twisted? You are 1 spilt cup of tea away from poverty? That's a pretty good one. It must have deeply hurt the witch to have that happen over and over. Since the time she had started thinking, I would probably say unemployment instead of poverty. But yeah, get it twisted? The bergamot in the tea is more valuable to this family than how you feel. Shannon had tried to stop her from being frightened of Beatrice. This was surely something that had tormented the witch for over 1,000 years. Maybe she really liked those sweets. Beatrice, who normally spoke abusively, praised the black tea that Shannon served her and looked to be in remarkably high spirits. After doing that for a while, the witch did the servant, and the servant grew animated in their discussion of the trip with George. The things Shannon actually knew about her were surprisingly few. First off, she was a ghost-like being who appeared in unexpected places at unexpected times. Unexpected die? Loci? Full combo? And it seemed that not everyone could perceive that she was there. Apparently, everyone has something called a wavelength, and the ability to perceive witches varies greatly among different people. Only Shannon and Cannon can interact with her enough to exchange words like this. There were few people who could sense her presence, but most people couldn't even feel that much. From what Beatrice said, Kraus and his wife in particular had 0 magical talent, and no matter how much she followed them around, they would never notice her. Once earlier, when Shannon messed up and Natsuhi got really mad at her, Beatrice had started playing around, hitting Natsuhi on the head with her pipe. Is this why she gets headaches? Wait. That's amazing. Hold on. Is that why she gets headaches? I see. Natsuhi really doesn't notice a thing. But Shannon, watching that, had bust out laughing without thinking and had gotten scolded even more. Hold on, do we gotta go back and reread episode 1 now? And every time Natsuhi's headache gets worse, it's Beatrice just Hagar forward heavying with the pipe on her head? Then what about Master? I hear he's been doing research in magic, so I'm sure he'll be able to notice you. Kinzo is the same. He also has a pitiful lack of magical talents. It's the blood. It's the rocks. They make you old. He has so little talent that I pity him. As soon as they started talking about Kinzo, it felt like the atmosphere around her changed. She had spoken about Kraus and the rest's lack of magical talent as though she looked down on them, but she spoke of Kinzo in a different way. Anyone connected to the Ishinomiya family would know about Kinzo's legend of the gold. Beatrice must have insane OTGs? Yeah. Butterfly OTG? According to that, Kinzo was given the gold after summoning the witch, Beatrice. In other words, she must have had some kind of relationship with him. That was because he succeeded, despite not even having a scrap of talent. He kept studying by himself like mad and managed to become a magician. And that's something really incredible, right? Indeed. The witch, who usually looked down on people, was uncharacteristically offering her praise. While she lambasted him by saying he had no talent, she praised his efforts. And then, the master summoned Beatrice-sama with the power of magic. Indeed. Well, I only answered the summons on a whim. After all, in this period where magic has long been denied, here was a man who, without a scrap of talent, was so desperate to succeed. I thought I'd drop by and poke some fun at him, and that's when my luck ran out. Her luck ran out. Are we going to learn about her story? Also, I had something from episode 1. Crap. The pipe thing threw me off. Thinking. What was I gonna say? Crap, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Something about episode 1. Her choice of words must have highlighted how much of a disaster this had been for her. Shannon hesitated over whether it would be safe to continue this discussion, but Beatrice continued on her own, ignoring Shannon. After all, his contract did have a proper format and set of rules. Various procedures were mixed up, but, well, in deference to his enthusiasm, I graciously accepted this contract. Then I gave him a mountain of gold. And then the master used that gold to succeed in business and grew his wealth into what it is today. Indeed. His talent in magic was minimal, but it seems he had a knack for business and gambling. Or perhaps it was due to the bravery and madness that led him to risk everything on unreasonable bets. Madness sometimes acts as a magical power. Hey BM, how you doing? I see. If you look at it that way, perhaps it isn't quite fair to say he was completely lacking in magical talent. Shannon felt like she was daydreaming. While everyone in the Ishinomiya family knew the story of how Kinzo idolized black magic, summoned a witch, and received the gold, in actuality, it was all rambling that no one believed in. Oh! That's what I was gonna say. She said the Ishinomiya blood... The Ishinomiya blood doesn't... They can't see her. If they have the... It's in the blood. There's no magical talent. Kraus and Natsuhi have no magical talent. And that it's in the blood. Kinzo has no magical talent. So... And Shannon and Cannon apparently are the only ones who can see her. Maybe some of the other servants. Maria can see her. So what if Maria isn't of Ishinomiya blood? That was my thought from that comment. What if Maria is not of Ishinomiya blood? and maybe that's why Kinzo says she's so, like, she's such a stain on the family. She's so ugly because maybe Rosa adopted. And now Shannon was having this story confirmed by the witch herself. She felt a little flustered by this incredible secret that only she knew. Yes? Yeah? Very possible. Once Kinzo gained his vast fortune, he could realize every dream that can be satisfied by objects obtainable in the human world. And in the end, he searched for the truth of this world. Oh, also, maybe Shannon will give the brooch to Jessica? I wonder how Beatrice will react to that if Shannon gives the brooch to Jessica because Jessica needs help with love. And I wonder if, like... Yeah, it's curious. I wonder how much having this brooch, like, matters with Shannon right now. The truth of this world? The single element that makes up the world. Kinzo, who had gained everything one can obtain in the human world, searched for that, the final desire that humans seek. The single element, love. She seemed to remember the witch using that word before. When Beatrice saw Shannon trying to remember what that was, she laughed bitterly, waving her hand and saying there was no need to worry. I think she said it was love. I underestimated Kinzo, just a tad. I truly didn't expect him to display such power. And thanks to that, I'm in this state. Ah, Kinzo sealed her up. I've been sewn in place on this island for several decades now, without even a friend to drink tea with. No matter whom I try to talk to... Oh, ending clauses with prepositions. No matter to whom I try to talk, my voice doesn't reach them. And no matter where I go, I cannot do anything. Such boring decades. As she laughed in self-derision, she tapped her teacup with her finger. It made a light sound of pottery. Shannon didn't know whether the word self-derision was really an accurate expression to describe the look on this witch's face. Shannon didn't understand everything, but she could more or less figure out the situation. And it was probably a topic she couldn't press the witch on easily. Not unless the witch started talking about it herself. To sum up everything she had said up until now, Beatrice, who had been summoned by Kinzo's magic, could not leave this island for some reason. And she had lost her power and her form, living her days in boredom. During that time, her words had reached Shannon, who never forgot to show sincere respect for the witch. And Shannon had helped the witch regain her power, if only a little bit. As a result, it was now possible for the witch to drink tea with Shannon like this. So Shannon did break the mirror. What if it's like Horcruxes where there's like multiple objects on the island? Oh, what if there's multiple objects on the island that are keeping Beatrice locked up? Trying to think what would have broke or what seals would have been shattered in episode 1. Maybe the roses from the storm. Probably the mirror off camera. Trying to think what else broke in episode 1. Excuse me. Beatrice, what in the world is that mirror you told me to break? That. Long ago, it seems various things happened on the islands around this area. Because of that, maligma forces gathered here and began to draw in an evil distortion. It seems a traveling Eastern magician or something built a shrine for the repose of souls and sealed them in there. That in itself has nothing to do with me, but unfortunately, that magical power rests on a different foundation than mine. It created a strong interference with my magic and was extremely bothersome. Now, is she lying is the question. Is that how it was? And I just assumed it existed only to seal you, Beatrice. Wow, weird. I was not its target, but it was a divine mirror. As a result, my power was sealed away. To use food as an example, maybe it would go with something like this. Let's say the Western food I ordered is being made in the kitchen. However, when they try to set the table, the area for seating is in a Japanese style with Japanese style dishes. So the kitchen is unable to serve a plate that would be out of place, and no matter how long I wait, my Western food won't arrive. Something like that. So you destroyed that Japanese-style guest seating and returned the area to a blank slate. Thanks to that, the meal I had ordered had finally been delivered, and my power came back, you can say. However, so far, only the aperitif has arrived. It'll be a while before the main dish comes. So, in episode 1, the shrine was destroyed by a lightning bolt. I wonder if that served a similar purpose. Stop the blockage. As I am now, I'm even more fragile than a shoe store fairy. Sounds like a JoJo analogy. My stand creates a 3-course meal of power. You are currently eating the appetizer. What's so amusing? Oh, nothing. I just thought of your metaphor was pretty funny. I never would have thought to use a story about food as a metaphor for magic. I thought it was a rather skillful comparison, but I certainly didn't expect it to be laughed at. I'm a bit offended. A straight sulky expression rose to the witch's face. It wasn't a strange expression at all to be appearing on the faces of some friends as they enjoyed their tea. Although I may not look it, I was known for doing extremely brutal things in the past. I've gotten soft. Now I can even have a foolish discussion while drinking tea with a human. She was probably talking to herself. As Beatrice gazed at the sea of birds tracing the horizon, she put her tea to her lips again. The clouds have come out. When the ocean loses its brilliance, it's nothing more than a gray puddle. You think so? I think the ocean is beautiful deep blue, even when it gets cloudy. Oh, that's what she said with George. Maybe the witch noticed the deep meaning behind Shannon's words. She laughed lightly and set down her empty teacup. It seems those things buried in your eyes aren't black pebbles anymore. How is it? Do you see how it feels for furniture to be reborn as a human? Yes. I never knew the world was that kind. Since the start of the relationship with George, Shannon's face had grown brighter more often. Her smile had made everything go smoothly, and had even changed her fortune. Shannon made less mistakes in her work than she had before, and the family members' opinion of her slowly started to change. Just the other day, she had been surprised when Kraus, who rarely exchanged words with her, had suddenly started talking to her. You've been wearing a splendid smile more often lately, haven't you? Has something good happened? No, but every day is fun. Wonderful. It goes without saying that coffee is more delicious when poured with a smile. Could I ask for that smile once more? There's the line. That's Kinzo's line. Oops. Somehow minimized. That had become a chance for Shannon to gain confidence in herself. Of course, it didn't go beyond her own heart, and it wasn't as big a change that anyone would notice. But she had begun to change, bit by bit. Is Shannon going to become a witch in this storyline? Shannon understood it clearly. Knowing love was the same as gaining a soul, the same as being reborn, from furniture into human. There was absolutely nothing mistaken in Beatrice's words. By knowing love, Shannon had learned what it was to be human. These have been unusual snacks. It was time well spent. It's probably about time for you to return to your work. So let us end our tea party now. After all, it seems a certain person doesn't like seeing us drink tea together. Huh? Oh, was it canon? The witch gripped a teaspoon and flipped it with her fingers, sending it up in the air. After that, it was launched by the fingers of some invisible person and flew straight into a nearby bush. The bush shook violently and Cannon came out. It seemed he had been there for some time, watching their tea party. The spoon was gripped in his hand. If he hadn't caught it in an instant, it might have hit him hard in the forehead and caused him to start bleeding. Do not worry. Our tea party is over now, Cannon. How long were you there? If you had called to us, I'd have poured you some tea too. I imagine you didn't want to interrupt a pair of women talking, right? Cannon kept silent, but there seemed to be a slight hostility in his eyes. On the outside, he acted with respect, but unlike Shannon, Cannon did not trust the witch. When Beatrice hit the table... Gay energy? Between the witch and Shannon? Nah. When Beatrice hit the table with her pipe, the tea set turned into golden butterflies, which flew upwards all at once. They then scattered in every direction, and the cleanup was already done. That was fun, Shannon. Let us meet again if the chance arises. My magical power is still quite lacking. It's tiring even to show myself. If you're that tired, never appear again. Shannon had said in a small voice, but the witch seemed to have heard it perfectly. She giggled, but did not reply. Shannon, tell me more about George at our next tea party. There are no snacks sweeter than a person's love life. See you again. Beatrice's body also became gold butterflies, which scattered in all directions and disappeared. It was a fantastical and beautiful scene, like a blizzard of gold leaf. For a while, Shannon quietly watched the witch's exit. Cannon approached her, from behind, and spoke with an expression that was drastically different from hers. Nesan, didn't I tell you to stay away from her? Beatrice isn't that bad. Yes, she might be a little shady, but the fact that only we can see her is suspicious enough. That thing isn't human. Who knows what she might be planning? Cannon, I think that's a little rude. There was a touch of sternness in Shannon's voice, which was unusual for her. To Cannon, who knew her well, she must have sounded extremely stern. Cannon, looking excessively surprised considering Shannon's tone, fell silent. It's true that Beatrice is different from humans. She has a terrifying power, so I think it's right for us to fear and respect her. Still, I think it's incredibly rude to despise her just because she isn't a human. I understand what you're trying to say, Nesan. You've changed ever since she gave you that brooch. It's like you're her prisoner. She brought you and George together, and now you're indebted to her. Don't say things like that. That thing isn't human. We don't know what she's thinking. So you mustn't trust her. And we aren't humans either, Nesan. Kanan's words grew more serious. Those words probably gouged at Shannon's heart. She bit her lower lip and hung her head. We are furniture. Even if we receive names and are treated as humans, that won't change the manner of our birth. Get it twisted? Your entire life is determined by the circumstances surrounding your birth? You are no longer furniture. These words Beatrice had given her, which had made her happiest, floated through Shannon's mind. I am not furniture. No. You are furniture. We are less than human. Nesan, you're just pretending to have forgotten. Pretending to be human. You know that as well as I do. I am not furniture. I'm human. No, you're not. We have never possessed what it takes to love or be loved. Get it twisted? You are furniture? I know what you are. Cannon's criticism seemed to have shifted away from Shannon's meetings with the witch. Shannon picked up on that quickly. I heard from Milady. Seriously, what were you thinking? I can't believe you would go on a trip with George. You've forgotten your place as furniture. You've just been tempted by that witch, mistakenly believing you've become human. I think there's something to do with, like, maybe they were actually turned into people via furniture. Like through magic. Listen, Cannon, it's true that we're furniture. Lesser beings, inferior to humans. But if it were possible to make up for what we lack, wouldn't that be the same as becoming human? Detroit become human? Rokenjima become human? Such a thing could never happen. No, it could. If we can do that, we won't be furniture anymore. We can become human. Ridiculous. As if you could ever do such a thing. Cannon spat those words out, but he did so weakly and turned away. He was probably giving up. After all the suffering he'd undergone during those days he'd lived as furniture, his heart was firmly sealed. You can do it, Cannon. You can become a normal human. Stop it. That's the witch talking. Yeah. Beatrice taught me. By obtaining the single element of this world, you can become human. Or rather, nobody's human if they don't have that. That's why people spend their entire lives trying to gain that single element. I don't understand what you're saying, Nesan. I don't want to listen to ranting. Then I'll teach you in a way you can understand. Look, see what I'm pointing at? I assume the furniture thing was a dehumanization tactic that the Ushirimi has used to mentally lock them into servitude. Yes. That is definitely layer 1 as read, that they are told they're furniture by the Ushiramiyas from the days that they're raised in the orphanage. My layer 2 is they're literally furniture. But we'll see, we'll see. Look, see what I'm pointing at? Shannon quietly pointed at the sea towards the horizon. The more they talk about it, the more it seems legit. Yeah, I don't know what the bait is there. Cannon didn't understand what she meant and couldn't do anything except look between the horizon and Shannon's expression, what seemed to be posing a riddle. The sea. Cannon, what color does the sea look like to you? It was an extremely simple question. For a while, Cannon tried to guess at the meaning behind it, and then he opened his mouth and said, actually, the sea is more gray. It just reflects the blue of the sky, so it's not really blue. But he couldn't think of anything, so he answered obediently. It's a hazy, dark gray color. Typical Redditor. So what? Objectively speaking, the sea, laid out beneath a cloudy sky, could probably be described best by Cannon's words. But as Shannon closed her eyes and smiled, she shook her head slightly. It looks deep blue to me. Oh, is that what you mean? Well, let me explain, like how Japanese people use the word blue to refer to a green traffic light. Huh? No, Cannon, what are you talking about? The sea is deep blue. If I understand it and you don't, then that's the difference between us. Cannon bit his lower lip and was silent for a while. Oh, no, Shannon's really getting independent here. I don't understand. Cannon, would you stick out your hand? As Cannon was taken aback, unable to understand what she was saying, she took his arm and opened the palm of his hand. Shannon softly sat something there. Again, it's a little version of me, Cannon. I want you to have it. That's my favorite smiling friends joke. I say it like far too often, but it's so good. Hold out your hand, Cannon. Oh, she's gonna give him the brooch and curse him. Everyone's gonna get their hands on this brooch during this story, and it's gonna be cursed. It's a top tier bit. It's so good. It was that magic brooch which she had received from Beatrice, a magic charm shaped like a gold butterfly that could bring love to fruition. This is hers? No, it's mine. So think of it as me and treat it with a... It is a little version of her. Just think of it as me and treat it with respect, okay? After being spoken to like that, he couldn't just throw it away. Cannon didn't know what he should do, and he stood there confused for a while, the brooch still on the palm of his hand. Shannon put the palm of her hand on top of Cannon's, and the brooch was worn by both of their hands. This charm holds true magical power. I'm sure it'll teach you an important emotion, Cannon. There's nothing to be learned from that person's magic. No, there is something. So wear it. If that's embarrassing, I hear it's okay if you just hide it in your pocket. Ridiculous. As if I'd let the magic of that person lead me astray. Even as he said that, Cannon couldn't be cold-hearted towards something Shannon was urging him to take. In the end, Cannon took it and agreed reluctantly, saying he'd prove that he wouldn't surrender to the witch's power. Shannon smiled and nodded back. I'm sure you'll be able to learn something important from it, and I'm sure you can become human. And when you do, I'm sure this ocean will look like a beautiful blue to you as well, Cannon. Gray is gray, no matter how many times you look. That's wrong, Cannon. It only looks like that because you have no balls. So here's the interesting thing. I think Cannon's probably in love with Shannon, right? So if the brooch is going to bring him together with his love, it's going to simultaneously tear Shannon away from George. You have no love, is what she said there, I'm sure. Because of the howling wind, he hadn't been able to catch the main point of what she had just said. So Shannon said it once more. The single element of the world. She spoke once more in the world where it existed, where the sea was deep blue. I'm sure you'll be able to see a deep blue ocean, too. After all, without love, it can't be seen. Whoa, Kinzo's outside. Shannon owns poor servant boy with facts and love. Darman, new Darman video. Oh, we should have a Darman stream. I think that would... It's kind of old hat at this point, but I'm sure he's made new ones. And I'm sure everybody learns their lesson in those videos. And they get what's coming to them. Who is that? It's Cannon, Master. It was rare for Kinzo to leave his study. However, the fact that he didn't mean his noble research had been suspended. The fact that he had didn't mean his noble research was suspended. He may have left the study because of a change in mood, but that didn't mean that thoughts filling his head weren't any different from those he had while inside the study. Canon knew that no matter what the time, speaking to Kinzo when he didn't want to be spoken to would always disturb his research. Servant boy fights with sister, instantly regrets it. It's cloudy out there. Will it get worse? Yes. According to the weather report, it could rain at any time. Shall I bring an umbrella? It will not come to that. Leave me alone for a while. Excuse me. If my children ask, say you do not know where I am. I am busy on a journey through my own thoughts. He's fighting the Satsui no Hado right now. Certainly. Then if you would excuse me. Before Canon finished bowing, Kinzo had already returned to his own world, having forgotten Canon's present completely. And once again, he began rambling to himself. Amidst the words, the name of that witch popped up many times. Oh, my hand will not reach your smile. What can I do to revive you? What can I do to make you smile at me once more? What is lacking? My research? My materials? My catalyst? Or is it magical power or luck? Or an oracle? Oh, Beatrice. What can I do to see your face one more time? Oh, he's sad. As Canon listened to his master's weeping voice with his back turned, he turned around just once. When he did, right behind his isolated old master was the shadow of a person who shouldn't have been there. It was the witch. At once, thinking that the witch must be plotting to do Kinzo some harm, Canon dashed back to Kinzo and tried to form a shield with his body. But when he saw the expression on the witch's face, that emotion of his vanished. After all, Beatrice's expression was sorrowful, or maybe pitying? You fool, Kinzo. Can't you see me, even though I am here? Right behind Kinzo, as he repeated the witch's name over and over, desiring to be reunited with her more than anything else, the witch was the witch herself. And yet Kinzo didn't notice anything. When Beatrice tried to rest her hand on his shoulder, he didn't notice. Why? Why does my hand not reach Beatrice's smile? Is it the age of the moon? The cycle of the comets? The alignment of the planets? What is lacking? It's useless, Kinzo. Without love, it cannot be seen. Does he not have love? Canon took the brooch he had received from Shannon out of his pocket. By learning something new, would he become able to glimpse something he couldn't see now? Without love, it cannot be seen. He looked at Kinzo's back once more. The witch could no longer be seen there. Oh, he vanished. Man, I'm sleepy. I definitely can't do a long session tonight. I'll probably do one more chapter. Not, you know what I mean. One more of these, and then call it. I need to catch up on sleep. Unrequited love tag. Yeah, I need to catch up on sleep pretty badly. So I will probably do this section, unless it's like really quick, and then see where that takes us. But I'm gonna take a short break as well. Right now, I need to stretch my legs, get my blood pumping. Oh, it's just Jessica. All right, be right back. So back. Wait, what is this you DM'd me?
Boo.
Red, thank you for the resub. Welcome back to the tournament staff. 35 months of support. 3 years right around the corner. Big ups, big ups. Thank you so much. Hope you've been well. Wait, what is this cursed monkey video? AI generated. Okay, we are done with the ad break. We are back. Whew, I am so sleepy. Alright, let's get through this. The biggest fall event for the Ushumiya family was the family conference in October. But to Jessica, there was another major event that came before that, the school cultural festival. Jessica liked school. To her, it was a place where she could let out the stress she'd built up from the rigid lifestyle she was forced to lead at home. For today's cultural festival, she'd formed a group with her friends, and they had announced that they'd perform some light music on a temporary stage. She had prepared and practiced for this over and over until today, always anxiously awaiting this day's arrival. Oh, she's going to do the Jingle Bell Rock dance with the plastics. But there was one thing that worried her. She looked at the clock. There was still a little time, but she felt uneasy. Would that person really come? After taking a single deep breath, her heart jumped when all her friends suddenly started speaking in shrill voices. No way! Hina's boyfriend is so awesome. Isn't he? Isn't he? Rin's boyfriend looks really smart. Is it true that the guy's a glasses beast? What? No way, no way. My husband will be a pretty boy. It may not be like this for all girls, but at least to Jessica's school, the cultural festival was basically a boyfriend exhibition. Me at the boyfriend exhibition with my 2D husband trying to defend my honor. Jessica didn't have a boyfriend. She had many friends of the opposite sex, but no special one. But Jessica was a little famous around the school, and everyone thought it'd be natural for her to have a fitting partner. Furthermore, her pride had led her to pretend that this was true. She'd somehow managed to keep them fooled until this year, but for various reasons, she hadn't been able to escape this year's cultural festival. Jessie, your boyfriend here? Huh? Oh no, it looks like he's not here yet. Oh, Jessica. Maybe he's busy with work. No cage business, he's not here. So what kind of person is he, Jessica? At least give us a hint. What kind of relationship do you have? Oh, he's a working man? Will he come in a suit? Of course he'll be wearing glasses. Oh, this one girl loves glasses. Hey, Jessica, he doesn't actually exist, huh? If you come clean now, we'll let you join us as a ninth wheel. Let's cry together. Oh, okay. It's all the Sag girls. Let's cry together through this year's cultural festival. Oh, I'd join in on that. No. He exists. I told you he really exists. Haha. Yeah, right? You know. Jessica's bitter smile was covered in a cold sweat. It was starting to seem doubtful whether she really had deceived her sharp-witted friends. Me when I'm in the boyfriend competition and my round one is Kashitara Rysair. Kashitara Rysair with cereal. It's just a nonsense meme, but it's so funny. Me and the boyfriend competition when my round one is Ragnar Blood Edge. Okay, then how about making a fake boyfriend and taking him with you? Daddy Darklaw is back in town. Oh, that's a good competition for a 3-matter Rysair. Who would I have? What Yu-Gi-Oh boss monster would I want to date? I'm so cooked. Yeah, imagine having a graveyard. A fake? Who? I can't think of anyone who'd do that. Shannon's ridiculous plan surprised Jessica into hysterics. Even so, it was probably more realistic than the crazy methods running through her head about getting a boyfriend in the big rush before the cultural festival. For example, what about Canon? Canon? No way! Anyway, I'm sure Canon has work on the day of the festival, and I don't want to bother him. One of my friends calls Avramax his husband. What are your thoughts on Avramax, Rysair? Avramax is the blue guy, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Boss Monster Boyfriend tier list? Yeah, Avramax is pretty. I could spend some time being unaffected by opponents' effects with this guy. Oh no, there's AI art of him. Of course, I've already checked the schedule. Canon has that day off. Well, why are you always so clever when it comes to stuff like this? No, wait. It'd be even worse if he's off. I can't pull him away from a precious day off just for my own vanity. If you don't pull Canon away, he'll always be shut away by himself. So I think it'd be perfect for you to drag him out of his shell. You think so? No, but I'd feel bad for him. This is my kind of story. This is way better than the murder... Wait. Is every Umineko episode a play on some kind of trope? Where number 1 was a murder mystery and this is like a rom-com? Me and my cousin are dating our servants. Then I guess you're out of options. How about meekly confessing to everyone that you don't have a boyfriend? Can't wait for the Grindhouse episode. True, it may be terribly embarrassing, but you'd only have to endure for the short and yet long time before graduation. To a pair of lovers, there's no sweeter honey than the face of a single person with an inferiority complex. Shannon, you aren't really worrying for my sake, are you? You're teasing me, right? This summer, Adam Sandler is Crouch Ushiromiya and Natsuhi Ushiromiya in Jack and Jill 2 When They Cry. Jessica wrestled about with Shannon and her eyes teary, but Shannon was unfazed, laughing with her usual smile. Wait, it's like the Nutty Professor, but everybody's played by the same, like, Eddie Murphy is the entire Ushiromiya family. Give me that. Nutty Professor When They Cry. Yes, this is to get you back for making fun of me and George all the time. Listening to Shannon's comeback, the likes of which didn't happen even once a year, Jessica hugged her cushion and rolled around on her bed, pretending to faint in agony. Nothing could defeat Adam Sandler as Crouch Ushiromiya, or like Kevin James hands in pocket pose Crouch Ushiromiya. What do you mean the witch is gold? I don't know anything about the witch is gold. Cheaper by the dozen paradise in Rokenjima. Hillary Duff is Jessica. So couldn't stand Shannon's smile, which looked so triumphant. But right now she was the only person Jessica could talk with. Now Kevin James would be Battler? Kevin James as Hideyoshi would go crazy. Wait, we gotta cast the Ushiromiyas as modern meme celebrities. You could choke her to death with the cushion later. Is that really so, milady? It's a cultural festival, but it's also a chance for you to have fun with Canon-kun. Meryl Streep as Beatrice? No, that may be true, but no. Or you could probably do like... This would actually be pretty hard to cast. I'm actually really bad at that kind of stuff. I think if we want to talk about a, you want to talk about somebody who would kill, crush in the role of Beatrice, Emma Stone would crush this role. Steve Martin is Kinzo. Or maybe an Anya Taylor-Joy Beatrice. I could see that. I'm very bad at like at the Kevin James Hideyoshi goes crazy. Steve Buscemi as Kinzo. Skojo as Ava. I would die. I would actually die. It would be too much for me to handle. As she grumpily chewed the fingernail on her thumb. It really was a reaction to be appreciated. Shannon and Jessica were about the same age, of the same sex, and friends. Then they were both right in the middle of puberty. They could never talk enough about love. That's why they could talk freely about those topics to each other. So Jessica had heard a lot about how Shannon and George's love was progressing. And Shannon had heard a lot about what type Jessica liked, what kind of man she might be interested in. Judging by Jessica's reaction, it'd probably be rude for us to go into precisely what those things were. However, this story won't get anywhere if we just have Jessica rolling around forever, so let's dive in. Jessica had been thinking about Cannon ever since he'd shown up. It was extremely rare for young men to visit Rokkenjima, so maybe it was natural for Jessica, a girl in puberty, to develop an interest in him. But if anyone said it, it would destroy the romantic ideals of a maiden's pure heart and love at first sight. Shannon had been with Cannon a long time at the orphanage, so she'd known him since before they started working. So Jessica had asked persistently about what his hobbies were, what his favorite food was, what type of girl he liked. Even to Shannon, it was clear that Jessica was infatuated with him. Come on, isn't it a good chance to take him on a date? Come on, date my brother. But Cannon-kun might also have someone he likes, so wouldn't he take it badly if I made him go out with me just to show off? We can't forget Danny DeVito as Maria. Oh. Maria, act your age. People who aren't honest with themselves like you are. What was that word I learned from George? Oh, that's right. I think it was Sundora. Apparently there'll be all the rage in a decade or so. Meta. It's always sunny in Rokkenjima. Wow, George sure is incredible, managing to foresee future trends like that. Awesome. No, wait. Are you saying I'm living in the wrong decade? Oh, me when I hear one jazz song? I was born in the wrong decade. Wah, I give up. Battler still doesn't believe in the Iago voice is killing me. I can't even do it. And then he's got like his like, you know that expression that he makes, like it's like the half confused Frank Reynolds like look where he's like looking up kind of, and he's Battler doesn't believe. Whoa. It took several days of wasted effort, but in the end, Jessica agreed the plan on having Cannon pretend to be her boyfriend. How old do you think Maria is? I feel like 50? Yeah, she's not. She's like balding and wrinkled. Yes, milady. Did you call me? Jessica regretted calling out in such a bad time. Cannon always looked sullen, but he had some bad days and some better days. Unfortunately, this reaction was the former. All that confidence and effort she'd built up practicing in front of a mirror all night was wiped out in about 5 seconds. Jessica turned bright red and hung her head. When he saw that, Cannon sighed. Sludge. Jessica thought he was exasperated with her, and her face went pale. So there are is there time loops? Hard to say. We are definitely before the events of episode 1, but I have no idea by what vessel we are here. There was this meta segment after episode 1 where Beatrice was like, here, I'm going to show you another chessboard. And now we're here. So I don't know if this is the same, because nothing has overlapped. There's been no like, oh, this happened in the first one, but in this episode it happened differently. Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, what I should say is we're definitely looking at an earlier time, but I don't know if this is a parallel universe or all these events just happened before episode 1. Because nothing... The family conference was the start of episode 1, and all of this stuff is before episode 1. Well, I don't remember how she phrased it, but yeah, I think she called it another chessboard. The easy answer is this is a parallel timeline. I want to say they're going to do something different with this, though. I heard from Shannon. This is about having me go with you to the school cultural festival, right, milady? This one's like a rom-com, though. This one's kind of awesome. The other one was like a murder mystery. This is like a rom-com. Huh? Nice one, Shannon. I mean... Yeah. That's right, but, do you have any plans that day? I was strictly ordered by Shannon to work specifically for you on that day, milady. I have never been to high school, so I don't really understand, but I hear it's a place where girls can be shamed if they don't have a boy with them. And I was given special orders to see to it that the daughter of the Ushiromiya family is in no way inferior to the common people. Wahaha, Shannon! I'll beat you up later. Jessica kept yelling with a strange voice and a broken smile, like a tea kettle filled with boiling water. As Cannon watched this, he sighed again. Cannon wasn't an idiot either. He fully understood what Jessica intended by inviting him. To be honest, playing along with Jessica's love game seemed like it'd be nothing more than an annoyance to him. However, Shannon had asked him over and over. He was deeply indebted to her, so he couldn't refuse. And the brooch was in his pocket. Could this strange turn of events have been brought about by the magic power residing in the brooch? Ridiculous. But he remembered what Shannon had said to him that day. Could Shannon see something he couldn't? I don't understand Shannon's feelings. We are furniture. As if we could ever become anything more. It was truly odd exchange between Jessica, who was still rambling on in a strange voice, and Cannon, who sighed deeply. Moj. Jessie, someone's here. Did you hear? Sorry. Who is it? As my friends all gathered together, they were looking this way with hard to describe expressions, whispering to each other in small voices that weren't small anymore. My attempts to play dumb felt pretty transparent, even to me. Did I really just say sorry? Who is it? Like I don't know who just showed up? It's useless. My mind's going blank. Oh, same. Me in the middle of the day when I haven't had my... Oh my god, Itachi Uchiha? No way, that's Jesse's boyfriend? He's so cute! Wait, he's real? No way! Seriously? Jessica, you traitor. He's incredible. He's younger? I never heard he was younger. Where? Where's Jesse's boyfriend? She's really into little kids? Isn't he like... She's like in high school and he's like 2 years younger than her? I don't know. He's dripped out of his gourd? Oh, that looks way better than this. Wait, the whole outfit kind of clicks. This is an Impurist Club fit, if I'm being honest. Besides the belt across the legs, this is an Impurist Club fit. Cannon about to hit the Soko no Vengeance? Oh my god, Seth Undernight? Wait, she's in a different outfit too. She's doing the bottom thing with her sleeves. Kraus and Nazi's daughter in the episode. I think this is the same. A young servant, he performs his duties. There are multiple servants with on. Okay, so it's the same description. Alrighty. Hey, aren't you late? I didn't know where the entrance was. I must apologize for my tardiness. Fast falls from the ceiling. Right, that outfit looks really good on you. Shannon said normal clothes wouldn't do, so we went and bought this the other day. Does it look strange on me? It looks a little big, but otherwise pretty good. That's not true. Shannon, when I get back, I'll promote you 2 levels. Feels like everyone here's a girl. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, isn't it? Come, let's not hang around here. Let's go to the stage, okay? Because I'll be up pretty soon. Come on. Jessica seemed just as uncomfortable. It looked like being bathed in everyone's interested gazes was hard on her. When he saw Jessica's appearance, Cannon thought he might have made things difficult for her by coming. I get the feeling I'm getting in the way. Am I being a burden? No way. Please, tell me at any time if I start getting in the way. Yeah, no way. He uses Boku. Oh my god. The high-pitched squeal. She calls her boyfriend Kun? What would you like me to do, milady? Oh my god, he calls her milady, like a butler. Oh my god. Yeah, no, there's no shot that this might just be the billionaire girl's butler disguised as her boyfriend with this kind of interaction. No, you can't call me milady today. Oh, is that so? As you wish, Jessica-sama. Oh my god, that's so cringe. Sorry, Cannon, could you close your eyes for just 3 seconds? It's a kiss. As you wish. Bang, thunk, ba-bam, slam. Crash. By the time Cannon opened his eyes, a horrible tragedy occurred in the room. Everyone had been driven into the walls, their arms and legs outstretched. Jessica had slipped her brass knuckles back into her pocket before Cannon's eyes opened. Anyway, let's go over to the stage. Whoa, wait, hidden power level? Our turn's coming up soon, so take a seat and wait for a bit. Because we've got to get ready. Go straight to the end here and you'll see a temporary stage. You'll know where to go. Please, wait there. He pushed Cannon back, and he seemed to be having trouble moving himself, and chased him out, as he seemed to have trouble. Even though Cannon was confused by Jessica's attitude and her panicky state, which he'd never seen before, he followed her instructions and headed the direction that she had indicated. She's the boxer in the fighting game? That would be so sick. After seeing him off with an awkward smile, Jessica slammed the door shut and yelled loudly. There you go, you saw, right? You saw that. Are you happy now? Haha, sucks for you. Ooh, I lost the bet. I was sure Jessie didn't have a boyfriend. Are you sure that was her boyfriend? I bet she's just abusing one of her servants, right? Oh, most sane friend in friend group. Jessie's boyfriend's incredible. Shut up. Come on, let's get ready. When Jessica took the brass knuckles out of her pocket again, everyone energetically returned to their tasks. Nah, the good old days when you could just bring brass knuckles to school. Ha. Wait, what is this? I like how the director just took a picture of random people on a stage and put it as the background. Cannon went down the corridor Jessica had shown him and ran into a temporary stage set up where the vending machine should have been. It was probably being rented by the hour by some group or club. The ones singing were student groups, but the crowd was still incredibly excited. Disliking that clatter, he leaned against the wall in the darkness by himself. Seth. So this is what they call high school. It sure is noisy. That's what Cannon thought. Then he remembered Jessica just now, acting in a way that he'd never seen before. Honestly, she was in such high spirits that alcohol might have been involved. To him, remaining composed and intellectual at all times was of the highest virtue. In that sense, it was very hard for Cannon to get used to the atmosphere of a school cultural festival. He had a responsibility to report everything he saw and heard to the master. Though he also had to report about how Jessica had acted without restraint earlier. At the very least, it was not fitting for the daughter of the Ushiromiya head family. The master, Kraus, and especially Natsuhi would probably be angry. If I'm to report it in a way that protects me, lady, should I blame it on inappropriate school friends? What was all that? Ah, so stupid. Kanon thought back to how Jessica had acted earlier and sighed again. He could understand Natsuhi's headache a little now. Come to think of it, Natsuhi, the president of the PTA, of course, was supposed to go to an informal gathering after attending the ceremony in the gymnasium. She said she wouldn't be able to see Milady's performance, didn't she? That's probably for the best. Crowds certainly are unpleasant. What in the world is going on? Several female students kept glancing at me. It seems they're all whispering the same thing Milady's school friend says, and it's truly unpleasant. Come to think of it, didn't Shannon warn me? If you walk around alone at something like a school festival, you'd better watch out because lots of strange people will come and talk to you. Excuse me, are you by yourself? Just as expected, a group of girls I'd never met started talking to me. Their stares started to make my back tingle. Didn't she tell me some magic words that could chase them off in times like this? I'm gay. Sorry, I'm with someone. Damn. Oh, really? I'm sorry. Yeah, it worked. Instant reaction. But then, well, that got rid of them, but it hasn't really changed the number of people staring at me. No, it's that kid. That's Jesse's boyfriend. No way. That kid? I can't believe it. I was sure he was fake. Isn't he cute? So he's younger? Jesse. There's no way I'll ever come to a place like this again. Kanon sighed for about the zillionth time that day. When he did, the lighting changed and the standing audience started cheering. He looked around and realized that there was suddenly a large group of people there. And unlike earlier, they were mostly guys. With this huge crowd, he couldn't even see the stage. Fortunately, there was a fallen beer case nearby, so he tried using that as a footstool. When he did, he realized that there was now a new group on the stage. The leader was Milady, and she's changed into a stage clothes, and she's even holding a guitar. I didn't know she could play. Then again, maybe she can play. I've seen her practicing air guitar before. Natsuhi wouldn't approve of any hobbies outside of study. Maybe she was always practicing in secret. Come to think of it, she's been returning really late from school recently, hasn't she? Maybe she's been practicing at school, far away from Natsuhi's praying eyes. It really is for the best that Natsuhi didn't come. If Milady were to get scolded by Natsuhi after putting on so many hours of practice, she'd probably be dejected. Jessie! Everyone! Thanks for gathering today! Oh shit, it's time for peak? Oh no. This can only be giga cringe, if you're saying that. I can hear Jessica's forceful voice through the speakers. Jessie? Maybe that's her nickname at school. The students in the audience kept calling out that name. I'm a little offended at that crude name. It's inappropriate for Milady. Jessica-sama was in high spirits as they kept shouting, Jessie! Everyone here was probably a fan. Her mic performance picked up on that and electrified them even more. It was almost like a music program on TV. At first, he thought this was all silly, but that feeling had changed into appreciation. It was incredible, in its own way. Kanon never listened to music of his own free will, but he'd often heard that kind of music the Ushirimiya family liked. Penis music. Since it was almost all classical, Kanon had naturally taken a liking to that kind of music. So to Kanon, the song Jessica sang was, how would you say it? Extremely colorful. In any case, if Natsuhi heard it, she'd probably faint. What? Oh, wow. The YouTube? Surupetan. She's... Slow down. Slow down. But everyone liked the way they were having a really good time. Some diehard fans who had even brought pen lights sang along and danced crazily with the same movements, almost as though it had been planned ahead. The little Rysair doesn't really go with the beat. On the stage, Jessica also sang enthusiastically, dripping with sweat. He couldn't find a single element that was appropriate for a daughter of the Ushirimiya family, but it looked like so much fun. Jessie! A Mickey dance. Again, today, behind me, the sound of footsteps. Oh, Yasuhiro-sama is stalking me. Curses, disappear and sacrifices torture. Onikakushi, does that make a good snack? Don't say Marisa! Is this the lyrics? Marisa! Wins! I must not go along with it, but at any rate, Milady is full of life and looks like she's having a great time. As I watched Milady enjoying herself, I thought, could this be Yoshimiya Jessica's true nature? I don't know better than anyone that during her life on I know better than anyone that during her life on Rokkenjima, she's had no choice but to kill her sense of self. So the time she spends not as Milady, successor to the family, but as a single girl called Jessica, living life to the fullest, must be very important to her. I worked close to Milady, seeing her in all seasons, and thought I knew everything about her. I'm putting that on the playlist. That's a good gym song. But I was all limited to one side of her, the Milady of Rokkenjima. Beton. We are furniture. We serve the Northern Lion mix, where it's not Beton, it's Peloton. We serve on Rokkenjima and end our lives on Rokkenjima. So I've come to think of Rokkenjima as our whole world. Although, like the Ptolemaic theory, the ocean spilled off at the end of the world into an abyss. But when I look at Milady like this, I can see how horribly narrow that outlook is. Peloton. I still can't go along with the excitement of the crowd, but I feel like I can see something that cannot be seen on Rokkenjima. I'm not sure if this is the unseeable thing Shannon was talking about, but the ocean still doesn't look blue to me. I like this story a lot more than the first one. This is peak, like, gushy teen shit. I eat this up. Eat this with a spoon. Oh, the cultural festival at Jessica's school today? How's the principal doing? He seemed to be in good health. That's right. Diet member Takamiya was also there. Diet member? Said to give you his regards. Busy as usual? It appeared so. That person is also very energetic. Oh, and I believe President Imoto also made an appearance. Naturally, the topic of Jessica's cultural festival came up at dinner. School events often became social gatherings for local volunteers. It was the same for the family, who were celebrities around here. Natsuki remembered the name of one VIP after another at that social gathering, telling Kraus the news about them. Jessica didn't really have any interpretation on that discussion and rudely slurped her pumpkin soup. Milady, perhaps you ought to take more care with your manners. Yeah, sorry. Jessica, how many times must I tell you to watch your language? Yes, ma'am. Jessica answered, discouraged. When he saw that, Kraus smiled a little and paused his conversation with Natsuki. How was the festival for you, Jessica? Huh? Well, it was okay. I was watching. You did an excellent job. Huh? Oh, well... Jessica's face turned bright red. She probably hadn't imagined that Natsuki would actually come to see her on stage. She felt a mix of happiness and embarrassment. Actually, she hadn't wanted her mother to watch, since she didn't really want to be told that her music was inappropriate for the family. But it certainly didn't make her unhappy to hear her parents say she'd done a good job after watching her try her best. Jessica acted with both composure and dignity, fitting behavior for a student representative. Oh, yeah. That smile that had been there until a second ago crumbled like sand. Jessica immediately realized that her mom was talking about something different. Jessica was also the school's student president. She had no interest in doing something so annoying, but her parents had been pushy, so she'd begrudgingly accepted. It is important to become class president. You become very powerful. You gain superpowers when you become class president. Unfortunately, she was popular at school, so she won the election easily. The Nazi was praising her for the student council sponsorship ceremony at the beginning of the cultural festival. Actually, she had just carried that out half-heartedly. After that, she immediately met up with her friends and held a stage rehearsal for the rest of the time. That experience of standing above people and bearing responsibility will surely prove useful in the future. I'm sure it will help Jessica mature as a member of the Ushuramiya family. But you rushed a little while giving the greeting. You get a pass on content, but the fast pace of your speech lessened the impact. It might help if you developed a habit of pausing every once in a while. Yeah, you should pause buffer your speeches. It makes it more effective. You can get frame-perfect words. After she finished eating, Jessica didn't feel like going straight to her room. Her room was basically a place her parents had ordered her to be. So perhaps for Jessica, instead of returning to her room, being in an unknown location in this large mansion was a meager form of resistance. Incoming Beatrice. Jessica felt that even being in the mansion made it hard to breathe, so she went outside to the rose garden. Well, even if she did show up, I'm sure she would have said something about how it wasn't appropriate for a successor to the Ushirimiya family. Isn't it better this way? Jessica laughed at what she was sulking over. She laughed at what kind of words she could possibly have been expecting. That was dumb of me. In the end, I was just acting like an entitled brat. I'm a little exasperated with myself, and it makes me want to laugh. Milady. Oh, Canon. Don't scare me like that. Just as she was about to force a laugh, Canon suddenly started talking to her, and she choked. What's up? Got something to say? Yeah? Jessica's expression became the one that she always wore when looking at Canon. The listless Jessica from a second ago was gone. If he had still only known Jessica as the eventual successor to the family, as he had until yesterday, he might have mistakenly thought that Jessica's mood had sprung back to normal. But that wasn't right. He now knew as part of her that he couldn't have seen. He now knew a part of her that he couldn't have seen since until yesterday. So he understood that there was no way Jessica actually felt the way she appeared. Oh, about the cultural festival today. Well, thanks for coming with me so I could show off. You saved my butt out there. That song. You were really good. Oh? Oh. Ah. Really? Oh, come on now. You're embarrassing me. Even as she had heard those words she most wanted to hear, Jessica acted shyly and couldn't accept them openly. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. I cannot sing. Same. And I don't know how to play an instrument other than the harmonica and the recorder. Bless you? Thank you. Which I learned in elementary school. The recorder, pain. So I simply assumed you were the same, milady. At that time, Canon had never felt as though he'd been looking down on Jessica in this way, but all the people he'd seen playing special instruments were on the other side of the brown tubes in the TV. At the very least, he'd been under the impression that it had been impossible for Jessica. I am furniture, so I don't believe there was any need to sing or play instruments, but I'm not sure anymore. Oh, do they start a band? Rysair, if a game is $8, should you care if if it goes on a 50% sale maybe in the next month, or just buy it now? I would just buy it now. If you want to play it, having it now is probably worth $4. Honestly, even if it was to become free in the next month, if it's $8, you're playing it now versus waiting is probably worth $8. Even with that, I am furniture business. $8 is like one like value meal at a restaurant. Not at a restaurant, like a fast food joint. Probably worth it. That's like a proper attitude you servants are supposed to have, right? Servants are supposed to be like living furniture. Genji-san says it a lot. It isn't just a proper attitude, because we really are furniture. I know the kids from the Fukuian house received assistance from grandfather in various ways, and I realize how grateful you are for that. But it's a bit cruel for you to have to call yourself furniture just because of that. We are all human, aren't we? Canon, when you saw me singing, what did you think? Wait, what if they're not furniture? What if they're like homunculi? What if Kinzo is like doing rituals to like create fake humans in these orphanages, and they're like homunculi? It looked like you were having a lot of fun. I don't think that's true. Huh? You didn't just think it looked fun. You were envious, weren't you? I think I get caught up in min-maxing where I have to just ask myself if saving $4 matters. Yeah, always with stuff like that, absolute value matters just as much as percent value, right? Like if it was a $60 game, 50% off is quite significant because that's like getting 2 games. But the $4 you save for an $8 game doesn't even really get you like an incremental anything. That's not... Canon probably hadn't noticed that emotion himself. Most likely, Canon saw something he'd never seen before, learned about it for the first time, and felt envious. And to trick himself out of that emotion, he'd called himself furniture over and over. I know I'm a successor to the Ushirimiya family or whatever, and well, I'm sure there'll be a lot of annoying stuff to do from now on. As far as that goes, I can't do anything but give up, since I was born under an unlucky star. Probably just because you had to live a life at Fukuin House. I didn't have a choice either. I couldn't choose the stars under which I was born. Get it twisted. That may be true. But there's one place where you and I are completely different. Know what that is? I am furniture, and Milady is not? He was about to say that, but stopped. I don't know. Canon, you decided that your fate determines everything about you, and you gave up. But I can't accept that kind of fate, so I do the best I can. So, while there's still the rigid and cornered me that's got to stay as the daughter of the Ushiromiya family, I've created another me that can do what I like to the fullest. Oh, like what I do with VTubing. Another you? Yeah. Canon, you've been instructed to say, because I am furniture. I'm sure you've gone through a lot of tough times just because of that. I think that's really unfortunate. But the idea that your entire life will be decided by that alone just seems sad to me. You know, it's always possible for people to create another self inside of them. A self that they can truly grow to like. I'm not talking about escaping from reality, though. When I'm that other self, I can really feel like I'm living a great life. So, no matter how constrained and boring everyday life gets to be, I can always live on without suffocating. Me trudging through my workday so I can come home and become an anime character. Make another self inside yourself. That is that you can truly grow to like. To make another me, one that isn't furniture. Through her relationship with George, has Shannon given birth to another self that isn't furniture? And did this other Shannon see something that cannot be seen by furniture? That's right. Well, I don't know anything about your private life, Canon, but I can sort of guess. Your private life probably doesn't exist at all. Am I right? Canon couldn't reply, but that was answer enough. He had no concept of a private life. So Canon would always just be Canon. The furniture would always just be furniture. Canon. Canon isn't your real name, is it? In the Fukuin house, new graduates would be given new families and a new life, so they were also given a new name. In this case, his was Canon. Certainly. This name of mine may be a temporary thing. Before he had thought of himself as Canon and no one else. But he remembered. There definitely had been another self that wasn't Canon. But that was far, far away, beyond the distant fog of oblivion. But even for you, it should be okay to have times when you're Canon and times when you're not. Maybe when you act as a servant, that Canon calls himself furniture and strictly limits his own will. But when you aren't Canon, I think it's okay to live much, much more freely. Those words definitely weren't just lip service. Jessica had also been like this in the past. She had cursed her own birth in an environment different from all of her friends at school. Only she had been in a heavily constrained environment, forced to learn all sorts of things. And she even had been told whom she was and wasn't allowed to play with. Again, ending sentences and prepositions. It may have been sad, but she'd given up, resigning herself to the fact that she hadn't been born under that kind of star. But one day, Jessica stopped giving up and surrendering. Stuff like Ushiromiya family customs and pressure didn't matter. She created a real Jessica inside of herself, one who could do what she really wanted to do. You know, I go by the nickname Jessie at school. When I'm Jessie, I live life honestly and to the fullest. And because of that, I can do my best when I'm Jessica too. Would it really be so sad if we could always have times when you're Canon and times when you're... What's your real name? When you aren't Canon, can't you try becoming another self that you can like? Time when I'm not Canon? He'd once thought of his real name as being completely meaningless. Because of that, he thought that Canon summed up everything about him. And now Jessica was telling him to create something new, another self that wasn't Canon. Non-canon? Fan fiction? Canon, you don't mind, tell me. Call him Bio Broly because he's not Canon. What's your real name? He was silent for quite some time. Maybe Canon's real name had risen from the top of his tongue. After hesitating for a long time over whether he would say it, in the end, he swallowed it back down. I forgot. My name doesn't matter anymore. Those words contained a faint rejection. No matter what kind of real name I had, The only truth now is that I am here. I am canon. The past has nothing to do with anything. The materials for which furniture is made, be it a trunk of a tree or otherwise, are meaningless in the end. I told you to stop that. You aren't furniture. You're human, right? I am not human. Canon clearly voiced his refusal. It was with a rage that he normally doesn't show. Jessica couldn't say anything back and was struck silent. You are human, milady. So you are free to live any way you please. And any kind of future is possible for you. It's almost like you have wings and can dance through the sky like a bird. But I am not like that. Even if I look like a bird, I'd be nothing more than a domestic duck. Even though they have wings, they cannot fly. How did BioBrawly get approved? That's a great question. I'm glad it did, though. To speak to me of that dream in the sky despite that, it's just too cruel. Furniture and ducks? What are you talking about? No. Jessica had unconsciously gone along with Canon's forceful manner of speaking, but she realized that she shouldn't fire back and swallowed her words. I don't know anything about you. I don't even know your upbringing, and I don't know the hardships you've been through. So, I can't even imagine why you started calling yourself furniture. But know this. You aren't furniture or a duck. You're a real human. If you want to say Canon's furniture when he's working as a servant, that's fine. But in that case, you don't think you can create a self for when you aren't furniture, for when you're human? Only a human like Milady can embrace that possibility. I am not like that. I have no future, no possibilities, no dream that I am allowed to see. So Milady, please don't say any more cruel things. Please don't say any more cruel things. Why? Why do you say stuff like that? Because it seems you mistakenly think I'm a human. The same as you, milady. We're different sorts of beings. I just wanted to make that clear. I heard from Shamon something about milady liking me. No. I look almost identical to a human. So, like Shamon, I could probably delude myself into thinking I'm human and pretend to love for a time. But then I would surely be fooling myself. No. I would be fooling you too, milady. Shamon and George will definitely fall apart. Even though Shamon herself probably realizes that day will come, she's taking part in such a stupid... No, there's nothing stupid about it. Sure, George is a wonderful person and he's got to match up to his parents' expectations. I'm sure when it comes to marriage, Aunt Ava will interfere in various ways and I think their future prospects look like they'll be full of trouble, okay? But you know what? George isn't the kind of guy who will surrender to that shit. Shannon's no Juliet, and he'll definitely bring her happiness. People cannot engage in romance with furniture. False. What I'm trying to say is that even if you can love furniture, I cannot love you, milady. Those words of Canon's crushed all of Jessica's bittersweet feelings from that day. There was no way her emotions could have predicated that she'd be refused so bluntly. In any instance, she lost the willpower that had led her to try and unravel something stubborn in Canon's heart. And before she knew it, she was just standing there, in shock. Milady, if your feelings for me were due to my conceit, then I must ask that you forgive me. No, well, I won't deny that. Thank you. Thank you for thinking of me as human. Those feelings alone really do make me happy. Anything more would be too cruel for me, so... No, I've said enough. Sorry about that. Jessica recklessly scratched her head and spoke, trying to force her voice to sound bright. I just kinda ran on ahead by myself and was a burden on you. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry for causing so much trouble on your precious day off. No. I was also happy that I could see you having fun. Then, let's call it a night. If I don't get back to my room and turn off the lights, Mom will get mad at me again. That's probably for the best. I wish you a good night, milady. Yeah, good night. Poor Jessica. Canon saw Jessica trot away with her back to him, looking disheartened. But then suddenly, she broke into a reckless dash and disappeared in the direction of the mansion. As he watched her back for just an instant, Canon was tormented by a feeling that he'd just made a huge mistake. But he hadn't made a mistake at all. He'd been forced to refuse her now for her sake, while her pain was still at its smallest. Nice going, making a woman cry like that. Oh man. Then the Beatrice theme hits. I didn't expect you to refuse her that strongly. If you'd given a normal answer, another pair of lovers would have been born thanks to my magic. How long have you been there? What a horrible person. When he turned around, the witch was suddenly there. It looked like she'd been there the whole time, watching the two of them as though enjoying a play. I shall forgive you for your insults just this once, in deference to that amusing little show. Even after 1,000 years, no more interesting show exists than complications between boys and girls. To me, it's a pleasure that's better and more addictive than opium. Cannon pulled the butterfly brooch out of his pocket. It was a manifestation, of the great magic the witch had bestowed. Without hesitation, he slammed it against the ground and stomped on it. Uh-oh. Oh? What is the meaning of this? You know that was given by me. Just now, I figured it out. What you're doing isn't as tasteful as being a cupid of love. You're just a demon who enjoys showing love to those who can never be together, deceiving them. You are free to think that. Most humans I lend my power to say the same thing. Come on, don't play dumb. You didn't lend Shannon your power because you felt sorry for her. You found a weak point in Shannon's heart as her chest burned with love, and you made her break the mirror that sealed you. What's more, you guessed how this would all end, and now you're toying with her. Am I wrong? Furniture has a thoroughly pitiful existence. So you have no dreams, no future, no love? Good, good. There's nothing better than knowing your place. As you noticed, there was a faint love residing in Jessica's heart. You seem to think you've snipped it in the bud. But did you know? Trees grow thicker branches if you thin out and prune them. A girl who loves furniture, is it? Amusing. Truly amusing. Shannon and George will also eventually reach a stalemate with their unfulfillable love, ripening into a sort of large fruit I love. However, regretfully, it seems to be going so smoothly for those two that it's hardly entertaining anymore. But on the plus side, it seems the two of you will amuse me to no end. The witch laughed. Even though she had known the two could never be together, she had lent her magic to bring them together. However, they couldn't escape the fate that prevented them from ever being truly joined. The witch knew that. Even if they were joined, Shannon and George, Cannon and Jessica, would eventually break up. They would wander through an endless desert in this hell of love, tormented by an eternal thirst. What? Did you think I'd lend my power and ask for nothing in exchange? I'll gladly assist a pair in love. And in exchange, I'll enjoy watching the cruel fate they'll eventually meet. I've never come across a better show. Not over the course of 1,000 years. Look at Kinzo. Oh, wow. See how he ended up? An old, pitiful man who learned... Look at this face. Yeah, that's really good. A pitiful man who learned the taste of love before being thrown out of paradise? Look at how he lives, like a dead man that cannot fully die. You truly are a witch. Disappear. Get out of my sight, demon. Oh, I would disappear even without your prompting. My power still hasn't returned. It's still tiring to continue showing myself. I overdid it when I gave you lovers my power. As I am now, it will not be easy to maintain that power without that brooch as a catalyst. Cannon ground his foot even more into the stomp brooch. No, this is bait! Jessie, this is bait! She wants you to destroy the brooch, so it's probably sealing her power like the mirror was. He felt it break under his foot. Then it evaporated like water and changed into butterflies that sparkled gold, fluttering out from beneath Cannon's foot. Yeah, he definitely just unleashed another layer of Beatrice's power. Maintaining this form is quite painful for me as well. I will hide myself for a time, just as you desire. My magical power will rise as surely as the moon and the tides, and eventually a fitting time will come for my revival. I know not in the slightest whether that will be tomorrow, next year, or even 100 or maybe 1,000 years in the future. But as long as there are those who entertain me, I will surely gain power and revive. I will disappear for a short while, until that time comes. The bruise on the palm of your hand is already gone. If you wish, tomorrow morning, you can let my existence vanish like an illusion or a dream. After all, nothing saddens me more than being forgotten. However, I will surely be revived. Be on your guard, so that you will not regret the day is coming when it does. I will surely have my second coming and rule over everything as this island's true master. That is the time when the door to the Golden Land will be opened again. The greedy dead will surely wake me. Oh yeah, me when I'm in a boyfriend competition and my opponent is Eldritch the Golden Lord. You talk too much. Disappear, Golden Witch. The witch became a cloud of gold butterflies and scattered away, leaving behind a scornful laugh. The whole area sparkled like a gold blizzard in a snow globe. It was a fleeting, fantastical scene that had disappeared in a heartbeat. The witch could no longer be seen. However, Cannon felt like he could still hear that shrill, unpleasant laugh. Amusing. Why is the human world still so amusing after all the years I've been away? Go mad with love. Go mad with gold. Those who don't go mad from one of the two are not human. I see. So that's why the word furniture is so fitting. Furniture is created to serve humans, and I cruelly treat humans as playthings to save my 1,000 years of boredom. What a truly amusing three-way deadlock that I cannot control furniture. Kinzo, you fool. What a truly entertaining scheme you've worked out. Oh, so is she alleging that Kinzo trained these kids to be furniture so that they could not be tempted by Beatrice? Furniture. You fools, just try and see if you can fell me. Tonight, 2 seeds of love have been sown, including the one already sown. That makes 3. 2 seeds of love have been sown. Oh, this one, yeah. Beatrice, why did you leave me alone in this painful world? I hate you. I will hate you for all eternity for not even trying to answer, despite being yearned for so. Master, drinking any more will be damaging to your health. Nanjo warned you as well, did he not? Silence, Genji. You do not understand. You do not understand my grief and sadness. And I believed at least you, my oldest friend, would understand my pain. Why can you not understand? Beatrice, why did you leave me all alone? Why the hell did you mean furniture? What the hell did you mean furniture? I don't get it. Sag. Oh, poor Jessica. Even though the cries I hear coming from your room tell me of the situation, there's nothing I can do. This is all a tragedy due to the pair who are too young getting too close, when the positions of their birth are too distant. I can do nothing but understand Milady's feelings, hide my footsteps, and quietly walk away. What? What do you mean by that, George? I mean what I said. I still haven't built up my castle. Once I manage to do that, I'll finally be able to think of myself as an adult. When that happens, I want to marry you. That's, but my heart won't let me do that anymore. So I want to give you an engagement ring. Engagement, you say? But, I am furniture. Oh, right, that. Well then, furniture has to listen to what people say, right? Right now, I'm having a ring made that'll be fitting for you. I think I'll be ready in time for me to bring it to the upcoming family conference. I'll give it to you then, so please, I want you to let me hear your answer. If you accept, then I'll proclaim our engagement right there in front of all the relatives, including grandfather. George. I'm sure some people won't approve of our relationship, but there's no need to look at their faces, because you only have to fill your eyes with me. I will definitely bring you happiness. That is the one thing I can promise you with certainty. What the hell is going...
どのように実るのか楽しみでな。
What the hell is going...
どうしても僕はまだまだ
What the hell is going on?
青春の花を咲かせたい。
What the hell is going... Oh my god, this Chan is creepy. I can't wait to see how it will ripen. The gold butterflies do not swoop upon the juice of overripe and rotting fruit. I cannot wait for the day of harvest to come. Is the time of the banquet here yet? Beatrice is so sick. What a cool ass character. And the first glass shattered. The first day, October 4th, 1986. I love her VA so goddamn much. She is so good. Okay. Unfortunately, I do need to catch up on sleep. As much as I want to keep going, I cannot. I cannot keep going today. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. I do appreciate it. Thanks for the resubs. Anonymous gift sub. As well as Red resubbing. Okay, so tomorrow is Thursday. I'm either going to play in a Grand Archive webcam league, which I have to do off stream. They don't let you stream that. Or I'll just do more Umineko. Probably the latter, because playing cards is hard and I will almost certainly be tired. All good, get some rest, and thanks for the stream. Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Always a pleasure. So probably tomorrow. Friday, I'm commentating the Grand Blue Bingo with Jatsu on Impurus Club's channel. And then depending when that finishes, I might do more Umineko. Saturday, hey Ellie, how's it going? Saturday, you just caught the end of the stream. Saturday is going to be probably another long session. I don't know how long I can go. Popcat. Because so this weekend I'm here, but next weekend and the following weekend and the following and the following weekend, I'm out of town. There's no shot you pull another 11 hours. We'll see. Because as I said, I'm going to be out of town a lot in the coming weekends. Thank you. The 28th, I'll be at a regional. And then July 4th weekend, I'm going to another regional for Grand Archive. July 12th, I'm in New York for a concert. I'm seeing Joe Hisaishi, the guy who did all the composing of the Studio Ghibli films. I'm very excited for that. That's my birthday gift to myself. And then the following weekend, I'm out of town visiting Suzu and Popcat and them. So yeah, I'm super excited for it. So I'll be out of town a lot of weekends, so I might try to jam a bunch this weekend. I will be here most of the weekdays in between all those trips. So, there will be plenty more Umineko. So don't worry about that. But yeah, it will be a bit more staggered compared to how it has been in previous weeks. But we'll get through it over time. There's absolutely no rush to get through it. So don't worry about that. Let's see where Imp's going. They're in grand finals, and there's a Percival playing. I'm going to raid into Impurus Club. Let's watch grand finals together. And y'all be good to one another. Make good choices. Be safe. I love ya. I'll see ya maybe tomorrow. Probably tomorrow with everything I just said. Bye-bye.